Volunteers are vital. They're at the heart of a charity, pumping out work and energy, whether it is fundraising, work behind the scenes, or helping to deliver frontline services. And volunteers are in all sorts of organisations, small, big, local, national, international, for a wide variety of causes, for health, for animals, for the environment. I could go on. But to really make the most of these volunteers' time with you and to get the most from them, and for them to have a brilliant volunteering experience with you, they need to be managed. I'm Heather Briley. I'm one of the trainers and coaches here at the Directory of Social Change. Among a variety of resources we have available to support you on volunteering, we have 2 courses, Managing Volunteers and Strategic Volunteer Management. You can either sign up to these on our public course dates, or if you have a few people that need this training, we can come to you and deliver tailor-made training to support your volunteering needs. So I'm going to tell you about these 2 courses, as well as giving you a few tips from each of them. So the first course is a 2-day Managing Volunteers course, and it covers everything from planning to recruiting and selecting your volunteers, inducting them, training them, supporting them, managing them, having those difficult conversations that you sometimes need to have, and evaluating your volunteers. And in a way, that is actually the first tip that I'm going to give you. Managing volunteers, it doesn't just start when they're in front of you. You need to think of all of these different stages of managing volunteers. And are you being as effective as you can be to support the volunteers within these stages? If you're not, I recommend that you look at each stage and think about what you could do differently. So that's the first tip. I'm going to give you 2 more. The second one is don't recruit volunteers just to have volunteers. You need to think about what they will do, what support you can offer them, and what experience they will gain from being with you. Imagine you've got 20 volunteers, but you've really only got about enough work for 10 of them. If you take all of those 20 volunteers, you're going to end up with 20 bored, unmotivated volunteers. People don't volunteer just to be called a volunteer and to sit around and twiddle their thumbs. They volunteer because they want to do something to support your cause. You could also end up with 20 volunteers who are taking your time instead of 10 volunteers, which means your resources are limited. You could also end up with 20 volunteers who aren't very happy with their volunteering experience and start to talk about that to other people, which could then have a knock-on effect on your charity. So, if you only have enough work for 10 volunteers, consider out of the 20 that are offering their services to you, who are the most appropriate people with the right skills and behaviours that you need right now for your volunteering, and take them. And with the other 10, please do keep their details. Do give them feedback. Do consider what volunteering opportunities you have available and whether there's any flexibility with these. Do think if there are any other areas within the organisation that could benefit from volunteering in the near future. You want to keep those people supporting your charity. They may well end up volunteering for you again in the future. And for the final tip from this course, when you're giving your volunteers feedback, please do think about telling them what the impact is that they are having. So if you're giving them positive feedback, talk to them about the impact that they are having on the cause that they are trying to support. This will really motivate them and keep them wanting to volunteer with you. For negative feedback, if you're talking about the negative impact of their behaviour and actions and why it isn't acceptable and why they shouldn't be doing it, they will be more likely to understand what it is that they're doing, why it's not acceptable, and you'll be more likely to see a behavioural change in their actions. So that's the 2-day Managing Volunteer course and a couple of tips from that. I'm now going to move on and talk about the Strategic Volunteer Management course that we offer. So this is a 1-day course. It's not about the nitty-gritty day-to-day stuff, but funnily enough, it's about the strategic side of volunteer management. So what is this strategic stuff that we would cover in a 1-day course? So first of all, we'd be looking at analysing the organisational viewpoint on volunteering. You'd be looking at understanding the impact of volunteering and recognising your own expertise in this area. You'll be looking at influencing others on volunteer management. You'll be looking at benchmarking against external trends. You'll be looking at creating an outline to gain further support within the organisation as well as creating a structure for strategic planning, including key policies and elements of volunteering. So 3 key tips from this course. First of all, whether there is or isn't the word leader or leadership in your job title, if you're working in the area of volunteering, you are a leader in this area. Similarly, you're also an advocate for volunteering. You are the expert. Your role is to influence strategy. Please do not apologise for this. Secondly, as a leader, you need to be clear on your vision for what you want from volunteering from your organisation, and you need to spend time thinking about this. And thirdly, you need to be aware of the culture that there is towards volunteering in your organisation. Is volunteering really at the core of your organisation's culture, or are you getting conflicting messages? With some people on one hand saying that volunteers are absolutely at the core of what you do and you would not be without them. And then on the other side, you've got a few people saying these flipping volunteers. You need to think about what the culture is, how does it impact on your strategy, and how can your strategy impact on the culture within your organisation. So those are 3 tips from that course. If you're interested in hearing more tips, more techniques, gaining more tools, and sharing your experiences and hearing from those of people in similar positions to you, please do book onto one of our next public courses. So the 2-day Managing Volunteers course, the next 2 dates for those are the 3rd and 4th of March 2014 and the 12th and 13th of June 2014. Our 1-day Strategic Volunteer Management course is next on the 1st of April 2014. Or if you have a group of people and you would like us to come to you and deliver some tailor-made training for your volunteering needs, please contact Marina Williams on 0207 391 4896 or on email mwilliams@dsc.org.uk. Also, please do look out for the 20% discount that is available on this page that you can use on either our public courses or our in-house training. Thank you very much. I hope you found some of these tips useful that you can start to use right now to think about developing and managing your volunteers, but also have some information on some of the resources that we offer that can help support you in your volunteer management going forward. Thank you.